Well, y'all actually haven't seen me in 2 weeks, but nothing has changed. To be honest with you, it's starting to feel like Groundhog Day because we've had the same weather. It's been between 103 and 107 and no rain for the last 3 months. What's up, guys? I'm Rhett. Welcome back to Lawn Insider. And that's not an exaggeration. That has literally happened. We haven't gotten any rain since the first week of June. I wish that weren't true, but it is. I actually just ran the sprinklers for literally 1 minute over here because this dry spot that I showed you on the last video that I said most likely is a result of being right by this window and the reflection. I just ran the sprinklers just to make sure that the sprinkler head was actually getting this area, and it is. So that kind of solidifies my belief that this is more than likely due from that reflection. But I'm starting to get dry spots really all over the yard now, and there's really not much I can do to help it. My yard is definitely holding on better than most yards, but it's just been so hot, and I haven't upticked my water at all because, contrary to popular belief, I have not become a millionaire off of this channel, so I don't love to spend tons of money on my water bill every month, and we can only water 1 day a week anyway, so even if I were to water more, it would be within that same day, and I think I would still run into a lot of these same problems. But here's what the lawn is looking like right now. So really, in this front section, the only part that's really struggling is that spot we just looked at back there in the side yard. And this area, as you walk in right here, is struggling as well. I showed y'all that in my last video too. And I'm probably gonna hit that with the hose end sprayer Hydrotane at some point within the next couple weeks. But not gonna make any promises there, but just doing what I can to keep it as green as possible. And so far, you know, it's not done horribly, but geez, we could definitely use some rain. It's definitely frustrating to just look at the forecast and just see the same old 105-degree temps with no chance of rain ever. That gets pretty old, as you can imagine, if you're somebody that actually cares about your lawn. So if you're living in Texas right now, especially if you're in my area, Central Texas, trust me, I feel your pain, and it is not easy. So here's the side yard right here, dry spot kind of by my air conditioner, and a little bit right there in that area. Overall, the front is actually doing better than the back. The back has more dry spots, and it's always been like that. So that's every single year, and that's because I just don't get the same coverage in my backyard that I do in my front yard. The coverage back here is just a lot more spotty. So let me show you what I'm talking about there. And that's actually why I have that tripod sprinkler, but I just haven't been getting out here and running it nearly as often. So I don't know how well y'all can actually see it on video, but the areas over here by the fence, they almost look bleached. So it's like a real splotchy look in the backyard. And if you are having a lot of trouble in your lawn right now in Texas, if there's a lot of problem spots in your yard, obviously this isn't going to encompass all problems, but I'm willing to bet that 95% of everyone's problems right now is just water related, not even necessarily heat related, water related, because we just have not gotten any rain ever. And naturally, when you do pair that with the heat, yeah, that becomes a big problem because the ground is drying out so quickly. So I've actually started to see people commenting and saying, well, I thought Bermuda wasn't tolerant to shade, but now the areas that I get that are shadier are actually growing better than the areas in the sun. And I'm actually seeing that same phenomenon. You can't really tell because it's darker, but along my house right there, and then over here in this little section of my yard as well. So these areas that get more shade are actually greener, and they don't have those dry spots. And really the reason for that is not that your Bermuda loves shade, it's just that when you are able to water, the water that's in those areas is not drying out from the soil as quickly because obviously it's shady. So it's not drying out as fast, so your grass actually has some moisture to pull from so it's able to stay green, as opposed to the rest of our yards that are more exposed to the sun right now. They are just getting beat down with the sun. They're drying out faster, so those areas are struggling a little bit more. I also have this area over here which I've been dragging my feet on, and I've shown y'all this before, but this is my little patch of nutsedge, and it's very, very localized. So what you see on frame right here is all the nutsedge that I have, and believe it or not, nutsedge actually pops up in places that get too much moisture, which is hard to believe that anywhere is getting too much moisture right now, but that is the case. If you wanted to know what nutsedge looks like, that is what the nutsedge plant looks like. It's kind of a glossy leaf blade there, and I will treat that eventually with some sedge hammer. You can also use a product called Certainty. You can also use a product called Image, which you can just get from Lowe's or Home Depot. But what I have on hand is some sedge hammer. Eventually I will make a video on that, but yeah, like I said, for some reason I've been dragging my feet on that. It just hasn't been that fun to be out in the yard lately, just because it's so hot, and my job already requires me to be outside so much. By the time I get home, man, I don't really want to spend that much more time outside. So other than mowing, can't say I've done a whole lot else to the yard in the last couple months, because there hasn't been much to do. We just need more water. So here is what one of the dry spots looks like from the bird's eye view there, and it's just yellow and the leaf blades are very thin, and I know it just needs more water, but I really don't want to up my watering schedule because I don't want to pay tons of money on my water bill every month. So I'm gonna keep my watering schedule the way it is, just because I'm stubborn and cheap, I guess, and continue to pray for rain, and eventually it'll happen. I promise you that we have not seen our last rainfall here in Central Texas. Eventually the floodgates will open again, and we will get some of that glorious rain. But until then, I will just continue to try to manage what I have here the best I can. I will use my tripod sprinkler more. I just, like I said, I haven't been coming outside as much lately. I've been pretty tired, and school's about to start up, so I'm going to continue to be tired. But it is what it is. I'm not making any excuses. We are going to try to tackle what we are blessed to own as best we can. Went ahead and took a seat under one of my trees up here. So hey, I can't say they are good for nothing, because I'm sitting in the shade right now, and I do appreciate that very much. But another thing that this weather has done to us, and the lack of rain has done to us, kind of a natural plant growth regulator. So my grass definitely is not growing as fast. In the places that it is growing, it's still growing at a pretty good clip, and sometimes I'll get a little bit of scalping when I do mow, but I've been able to push mowing probably every 4 to 5 days, and I'm not under regulation right now, so I haven't applied PGR. It's just slowed down, and that's something that grass does whenever it's stressed. It's not gonna grow as quickly. And eventually, some yards you'll probably see where they're just completely yellow or completely brown, and they're not dead, but they have entered summer dormancy, so they're not growing at all, and they're not gonna start growing until they actually get some water. But that's just the way it is. It is a fact of life right now, and we just have to deal with it the best we can. And so far, overall, I think that the yard, especially the front yard, is holding up well to that. Give y'all one parting shot there of the front. And I am sorry that I'm not doing anything super exciting in this video, but like I said, I have not really done anything to my yard aside from mowing and letting the sprinkler system do its thing for as long as I can remember now. Haven't applied a fertilizer, liquid or granular. Haven't really done anything. So I hope that y'all get a pop-up thunderstorm that hits your area so you can get some water, and hopefully y'all can send some our way as well, and we can start trying to climb our way out of this drought, because I know it's going to take a while. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you're enjoying the content and you wanna continue to see more of it, hit that black subscribe button below the video. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those in the comment section below. I'll see y'all again soon. Lawn Insider, out.